Hello pre-calc students, these are your homework notes on the area of non-right triangles. So you know that if you have a right triangle, you could use your old formula of area equals 1/2 the base times the height. So for a right triangle, area equals 1/2 base times height. But most of the triangles are not right triangles, so you need some other formulas to help you with that. And these are our two formulas. The first one is when you're given side angle side, you can use this formula, area equals 1/2 AB sine C. So if you're given side angle side, whatever the sides are, they go here, whatever the angle is, that goes there. The second formula is also called Heron's formula. And for this one, you don't need any angles. It's for when you're given the three sides of the triangle. And this is your formula right here. But in order to use this formula, you need to find the value of S. And S stands for the semi-perimeter, which means half the perimeter. So first you find S by adding A, B, and C, and then taking half of that. And then you use S in this formula over here. So if you're wondering why these formulas work, the first formula is fairly straightforward. Let's think of a triangle where you have A, B, and C. And say I wanted to find this formula with 1/2 base times height. Well, I can, oh, I did that wrong. Let's see. Base, and then height. Well, the height is right here, and I don't know it yet. But I could actually find the height because I can use SOHCAHTOA. This is a right angle right here, defining the height. And so I could say that the sine of angle C is equal to h over this side, which remember is little a. Little a, little b, little c. So the sine of C is is h over a, and if I want to solve that for h, I have h equals a sine c. So using the formula area equals 1/2 base times height, my base is b, and my height is this, so I'm going to substitute this for the height, and I get that the area is 1/2 b, which is my base, times a sine c, which is equivalent to 1/2 AB sine C. So that one's pretty easy to prove. Heron's formula is an interesting formula. It's a very old formula attributed to Hero of Alexandria, who proved it in 60 AD, and probably known by Archimedes 200 years before that. Also accredited to Chinese mathematicians. And if you want to read more about the history of that, just give it a quick look up in Wikipedia. They also show several proofs of Heron's formula in there. So let's look at these triangles. In the first triangle, you can see we're given side angle side, so we're going to use the first formula. And I know our letters are different, but remember, these two are the sides, this one is the angle. So it's going to be area equals 1/2 6.2 times 8 sine 117. And you just plug that in your calculator. So 1/2, we'll do 0.5 times 6.2 times 8 sine 117. Make sure you're in degree mode. Perhaps I'm not in degree mode. Let's try again. Go to mode, go down to degree, and press enter, and second quit. And if I want to get back to the last thing that I typed, I can do second enter, and then press enter again. So that answer makes more sense. 22.1 square yards. All right, the second one, we're given side, side, side. So we're going to put those sides in for A, B, and C and find our semi-perimeter. So S is 1/2, 11 plus 8 plus 12. So this is going to be 20, 31. So my semi-perimeter is 15.5 yards, of course. And then my area is going to be the square root of S, 15.5, times 15.5 minus A. So you can call any of these A, it doesn't matter. So 15.5 minus 11, 15.5 minus 8, 15.5 minus 12. And just to save myself some typing, I'm going to go one more step. So square root 15.5 minus 11 would be 4.5, minus 8, 7.5, and minus 12 is 3.5. Okay, so I'm going to type second square root. Nope, just this one. Okay, 15.5 times 4.5 times 7.5 times 3.5. And I get 42.8, and my unit this time is, let's see, square yards. Okay, next one. Another side, 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 so I'm going to find the semi-perimeter again. So 6 plus 7 plus 11, all divided by 2. I have 13 plus 11 is 24, divided by 2 is 12. So my semi-perimeter is 12. And my area is going to be the square root of 12 times 12 minus 6, which is 6, 12 minus 7, which is 5, 12 minus 11, which is 1. So I have 30 times 12, which is 360, so I have the square root of 360. Okay, and let's type that in. I guess I should type my square root first, huh? Okay, and 18.9, but that 9 rounds us up to 19.0. And I have square centimeters this time. All right, going to number 4, another side, side, side. So same procedure, semi-perimeter. So semi-perimeter is going to be 1/2 of 10 plus 10.6 plus 5. So that would be 25.6. So I have 12.5 plus 0.3, 12.8. All right, then my area is going to be the square root of 12.8 times 12.8 minus 10, 12.8 minus 10.6, and 12.8 minus 5. And let's type that in. Okay, so I have 24.8. kilometers squared. That's the biggest triangle yet. Okay. All right, in number 5, it's another side angle side, so I'm going to use my first formula. So area is 1/2 12 times 7 times the sine of 105. And that's one step, so we can put that in the calculator. All right, 1/2 of 12 is 6, so I'm going to go 6 times 7 times the sine of 105. I get 40.6 kilometers squared. And in the last problem, I am not given side, 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 or side angle side, so I have to use a little bit of what I learned in this unit to find something else. Looking at the given information, I have an angle and I have the opposite side. I have this angle here as well, and of course I could subtract from 180 to find another angle. So I need to figure out if I'm going to go for side, 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 or side angle side. I think side angle side would be a little bit easier in this case. So let me subtract these two from 180 to find angle H. So 180 minus 122. And I get 58 degrees right here. Okay, and then do some law of sines. So I have 4 over the sine of 21 equals, let's do P. So I get P over sine 101. And I'm going to cross multiply, and I'm going to get P times sine 21 equals 4 sine 101, and divide, so P equals 4 sine 101 over sine 21. So let's put that in the calculator. All right, let's clear out what's up there, and I have 4 sine 101, remember to close your parentheses, divided by sine 21, and I get 10.9, which rounds up to 11. So P equals 11. And now I could do side angle side, so I'm going to have area is 1/2 11 times 4 times the sine of 58. And I want to type that in. So 1/2 of 44 is 22, so I'm going to type in 22 sine 58. And I get that my area is 18.7 square inches. Now that's different from the key, so I'm going to check and see if I made a mistake or if the key made a mistake. 18.7. Okay. So it looks like the error is in the key, and I'm going to go with my answer of 18.7 square inches. Now remember to turn your paper over and finish the problems on the back. Check your answers with the key and bring all of your questions to class.